Hey Flow Gang, it's your girl Flow Babes coming to you live and direct. How are you guys doing? Let me know in the comment section. If you're not doing so hot, let me know in the comment section. A problem shared is a problem half solved. Okay? You never know how somebody can help you. I could be of help with you, somebody else could be of help with you. Let me know, okay? This year I went to 7 countries in 3 weeks in Southeast Asia. Yes ma'am, I went on a backpack tour across Asia. I went to Dubai, Singapore, Bali, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, and I had a ball, but I made a lot of mistakes. But today I'm only going to touch on 5 mistakes. If you guys want me to touch on more mistakes that I made, let me know and I'll be happy to make a video on it and let you know. But as I said, I'm going to mention 5 today. The first mistake I made was not bringing cash. Guys, do not be like me. Honestly, before I go on any trip, I like to exchange my money with my bank here in America before I even leave the States. And because I had exchanged the money with my bank before this trip, I figured I'd have enough on me to last me my whole trip. Guys, I was wrong. I got there and all these different expenses came up, from me having to pay for a visa out of nowhere to having to pay for different activities, food, you know, different things can pop up. You just never know. Honestly, I'd recommend taking maybe a prepaid card with you. I don't even recommend only 1 card. Take at least 2 or 3 cards, because you just never know. One card might not work at an ATM, one card might work. You just never know. So I'd highly recommend not only bringing cash, because you need cash. Cash is king in Asia. Not only bring cash, but bring a card so that you can use at an ATM. Also have some money on your PayPal, because I ended up having to PayPal someone some money to be able to get some cash. So maybe try having a PayPal account if you don't already have one before you even leave to go to Asia or any country actually. These mistakes I made are applicable anywhere. The second mistake that I made was I didn't check the weather before leaving. If you watched my video prior to this on the itinerary that I followed to even go to Asia, you'll see that I mentioned that it was so cold in Vietnam. I would have known that if I had checked my weather app. So don't be like me. Check your weather app. Make sure that all the weathers are aligning to what you want. Because me, I was not in the mood to be cold. How can I be coming from Houston that was cold and be going to another place that's cold? The whole point of my trip was for me to go somewhere that the sun was shining, it was tropical, you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm going for vacation. I wanted to be warm. I did not want to be cold. Some people like going to the cold, but you just have to check like what the weather is going to be looking like before you even leave, because I was very shocked when I found out it was cold. What saved me was that I already had a jacket on me from when I was leaving Houston in the first place. But imagine if I didn't, I would have had to buy a whole new jacket to make sure I was warm, and you just don't want to go through all of that. Always make sure you're prepared, basically. The third mistake I made was I didn't cross-check visa requirements. Guys, when I got to Vietnam, this same Vietnam I'm mentioning, I had to pay an extra $300 on top of the $35 I already paid for the visa application that I had already applied for before. Don't be like me. Something that was costing only $35 ended up costing me almost $400. Check what countries need visa and what don't according to the passport that you have. If you have an American passport, I'll tell you now, you have to apply for a visa if you're going to Vietnam. If you're from the UK, lucky you, you don't have to apply because they have a good relationship with the UK. I don't know why they don't really like America like that, but I don't know. I had to apply for a visa. It sucked, whatever. I'm telling you now, free game. Number 4, I overpacked a lot. For somebody that was backpacking, I packed like I was going to live there. Don't do that, because I ended up having to pay each and every time that I traveled for oversized luggage. It sucked, honestly. It was only like $35 each time, but 35 times 7, it starts adding up. It was very annoying. So honestly, if you're backpacking through Asia, I'd highly recommend, if possible, just packing a backpack. get one of them big backpacks off of Amazon and stuff it to the brim and carry it as a carry-on, because having to pay each and every time you go through a country is annoying and expensive. It adds up. I'm not doing that again. If I ever backpack through Asia again, which I highly doubt I'll backpack again, because anyways, I highly doubt I'll backpack again, but if I ever find myself backpacking again, I'll definitely restrict myself to only one bag, because one, not only are you paying each time, but you're also having to like find a way to stuff your items in hostels and hotels, because there's not that much space in most of these places. And it's easier to carry it around if you're jumping from country to country. Like in my case, I was juggling a carry-on and a suitcase and all this extra stuff I was buying along the way. It was just a lot, guys. Don't do it. The fifth mistake I made was not learning small phrases and a bit of the language before even traveling. So even though all these Asian countries, they do speak English, it is a lot more helpful when you know common phrases like thank you and please and no and yes. You know what I mean? I didn't learn any of that before going to Asia. I just entered the plane and went to Asia only knowing English. And there were some certain places where I had to use sign language and use my fingers, use my hands, use my phone to communicate with them. Yes, it's of help, but sometimes you find yourself in areas where you don't have connection, where you don't have service to even be able to look up certain words on Google Translate. So just to cut yourself some stress, go ahead and start learning some of the languages. If you know you're going to Thailand, go and start learning a bit of Thai. If you're going to Vietnam, learn a bit of Vietnamese, because it does help in the long run. Don't make the same mistakes I made. Don't be like me. Try to be better than me, honestly, because I made some mistakes that I wish I could go back and change. I still had an amazing trip, but these mistakes would have made my trip a lot more enjoyable and a lot more smoother. So take it from me. That's it for today, Flow Gang. I'll see you next Friday. Ciao.